The clock in the east wing didn't tick. It pulsed, like a quiet threat behind the silk wallpaper. Every hour, the staff whispered the same sentence as if it were a spell. Mr. Robert has 3 months. 3 months to fold the suits he never wore. 3 months to stare at the ocean he bought. 3 months to say goodbye to a son who never listened. Sophia arrived on a Monday with 1 pair of shoes, a small backpack, and a habit of noticing what other people ignore. She kept her voice soft. Her steps softer. That's how poor people survive in rich houses. You move like you were never there. But the house made it hard to disappear. Marble floors that echoed your name, chandeliers that watched like eyes. And Michael, the billionaire son, who inspected staff the way a jeweler inspects a stone. Don't break anything you can't afford, he told her, not looking up from his phone. Everyone here is replaceable. Is that true? Are people replaceable? What would you say to a man who thinks money makes him untouchable? The first night, Sophia delivered tea to Mr. Robert. He was thin, elegant, and strangely foggy. His pupils lagged. His hands trembled. He kept licking his lips like he was tasting metal. "Do you smell almonds?" he asked, voice barely air. She didn't. But she did see the private nurse, Evelyn, slip a tiny vial into her pocket and smile like a locked door. Sophia told herself to stay small. Keep your job. Keep your head down. Then she noticed something by the nightstand, a sticky, clear smear on the tray where the tea sat, and a crumpled gel packet with the word glucose barely visible. Why would a dying man need glucose gel at midnight? Down the hall, Dr. John left with a leather bag and a hurried handshake for Michael. "We're on schedule," she heard him say. Schedule for what? A man's exit? Maybe it was nothing. Maybe she was imagining. But the next morning, Robert's sugar shake hands. The bitter smell from the cup. The way Evelyn pressed the drip and watched him drift. Sophia stood very still. Silent moment. You ever feel that moment when your gut whispers, "This is wrong"? When do you step in, and what do you risk if you do? She took a breath and made a choice that would change everything. The mansion hummed at sunrise. Generators. Ocean. Air systems that breathed richer air than some towns. Sophia followed the routine. Polish, fold, fluff, and keep her eyes low. Michael liked his people invisible. "You new girl," he said at breakfast. "No perfume near my father. And don't talk to him about hope. He hates lies." He smiled for the cameras, a perfect billionaire grin. 3 months, he added, tapping his watch. "We honor the timeline." Timeline. The word clipped. Who speaks about a father like a closing deal? Have you ever heard love measured like a calendar sale? In the kitchen, cook Emma, hands quick, eyes kind, warned Sophia. "Don't cross Evelyn. She runs this wing like a prison." Evelyn arrived right on cue, scrubs crisp, lips sharp. "You're the new charity hire," she said, looking at Sophia's shoes. "Cute. Just don't mess with my charts." She snapped her glove and whisked past, leaving the smell of antiseptic, and something sweet, almost syrupy. Sophia delivered fresh sheets to Robert's room. The windows were floor to ceiling. The ocean was a moving painting. Robert blinked awake. "You're new," he murmured. "Yes, sir. I'm Sophia." "I used to remember everyone," he said. "Now, I remember waves." He stared at the horizon. "Would you like me to open the balcony?" she asked. He nodded. Salt air drifted in. His shoulders eased. "My son hates the wind," he said quietly. "It messes his hair." A dry laugh. Then a twitch. His hand moved toward the nightstand. Sophia noticed the gel packet again, glucose, half hidden under a coaster. That afternoon, while dusting, Sophia caught a reflection in the glass. Michael and Dr. John down the hall, heads close. "We can't wait past quarter's end," Michael said. "He's drifting too slowly." "Dosage?" Dr. John asked. "Whatever keeps him mellow," Michael answered. "I need him compliant." Sophia's chest tightened. Compliant. Is that what care looks like when the bill is limitless? After they left, she returned to Robert with tea. As she poured, a faint bitterness rose, subtle but there. He took a sip. Within minutes, his eyelids sagged, his breath slowed, his lips went pale. "Sir," she whispered. Evelyn swanned in. "Out," she said. "He needs rest." Her hand pressed the 4 button. Robert slipped deeper. Sophia stepped back, watching the drip count faster. Silent moment. She saw the label. Noted the brand. Memorized the dosage. She didn't mean to. But her mind was a camera when she was afraid. Have you ever realized that the person in charge might be the problem? That night, from the servants' corridor, Sophia heard Michael on the phone. 3 months is generous, he said. If Dad signs the trust transfer sooner, we wrap by Q4. He laughed, the sound like a coin hitting marble. Sophia's hand shook on the railing. The next morning, she would start searching. At dawn, she found a used insulin syringe in the linen bin, and Robert wasn't diabetic. Sophia stared at the syringe in her gloved hand. The cap was on, the barrel cloudy with a milky ghost. The printed word hit her like a bell. Insulin. Her heart thudded. "He's not diabetic," Emma whispered when Sophia showed her, eyes going wide. "Why would?" "Shoo." Evelyn's steps clicked past like a metronome. The nurse glanced into the laundry room, smirked, and moved on. Silent moment. What would you do with a truth you weren't allowed to know? At lunch, Michael staged a charitable photo op by the koi pond. "We're launching a foundation in Dad's honor," he told reporters. His final months should inspire generosity. He squeezed Evelyn's shoulder for the cameras. "Our care team is a blessing." Care. The word tasted wrong. That evening, Sophia helped Robert sit up. "Salt," he murmured. "See." His tongue was dry, eyes unfocused. She slid a pillow behind him, noticing tiny needle bruises on his upper arm. "Sir," she asked gently, "do you ever feel shaky? Like the ground is sliding?" He blinked slowly. "They call it weakness," he said. "I call it theft." Silent moment. Sophia borrowed Emma's old glucose meter, the one she kept for a diabetic cousin. "Just a simple check," she whispered. Robert's blood pricked. The meter beeped. Low. Dangerously low. Evelyn swept in. "What are you doing?" "Hydrating him," Sophia said, holding up a glass of water. Her voice was steady. Her stomach wasn't. Evelyn's glance slipped to the nightstand. No gel packets. Sophia had moved them. The nurse's smile tightened. "Stay in your lane." When the hall was empty, Sophia recorded notes on her phone. Bitter tea. Insulin syringes. Hypoglycemia. Midnight glucose gels. Dose increases. Compliant. She sent a voice note to her sister, Evelyn. "No, use a different name to avoid confusion. Let's use Evelyn as the nurse and Emma as cook. Friend should be Evelyn? We already used Evelyn as nurse and Emma as cook. Use Evelyn only as nurse and Emma as cook. We need another friend name." Sophia texts her friend John? "But John is doctor." Use Evelyn nurse, Emma cook, Michael son, Robert father, John doctor. Friend can be Sophia's cousin, Evelyn? Conflict. Use Sophia's friend, Emma? Conflict. Better. Sophia texts her classmate Evelyn? No. We already use Evelyn. Let's add a friend from nursing school, Evelyn. Cannot. Okay, choose a friend, Evelyn, again not allowed. Let's use a neighbor, Evelyn. Still conflict. We'll use a friend, Nadia. But the user asked to include character names like Sophia, Emma, Evelyn, John, Robert, Michael. We already have them. Adding Nadia is fine. She sent a voice note to her friend Nadia, a trainee nurse. If someone who isn't diabetic keeps crashing low, and someone keeps rescuing him with gels, what does that mean? Nadia replied instantly, "It can mean he's being given insulin. It's an old, ugly trick. Lethal if unchecked. Document everything. Don't confront. If you can, get a second opinion. Second opinion. In this fortress? Late that night, Sophia cleaned the study. Michael's laptop glowed, left open by arrogance. On the desk, a draft of a trust transfer and a DNR form already signed, Robert's signature shaky, ink smeared. On the wall safe, a framed picture of Robert and a younger Michael, both laughing, none of this darkness in their eyes. What changed a boy into a blade? As she dusted the shelves, she nudged a book. A folded invoice slid out. Payments to Dr. John, consulting. Payments to Evelyn, private nursing. A separate line from Michael Capital, bonus, timely coordination. Sophia's blood went cold. Have you ever held a paper so heavy with truth it felt like metal? She felt watched. She tucked the invoice into her apron, then heard voices outside the door. Michael. Dr. John. Keep dosing, Michael said. We're almost there. The next morning, Robert collapsed. Security blocked the ambulance, and Sophia had to decide whether to break the rules or break a life. The fall was quiet. Robert's head slumped. The glass slipped from his hand and kissed the marble in a soft crack. Then his body followed, all elegance gone, just gravity and a dull thud. Silent moment. Sophia shouted for Emma. Call emergency. Evelyn appeared instead, silky calm. I've got him. She pushed a syringe into Robert's fore with quick, practiced pressure. Stand back. What are you giving him? Sophia demanded. Experience, Evelyn said, dead-eyed. Something you don't have. She pressed the call button, for security, not medics. 2 guards filled the doorway. No ambulance, one said into a radio. Per Mr. Michael. Sophia's throat burned. He needs a hospital. He needs privacy, the guard said. Privacy. Like a curtain pulled over a crime. Sophia's fingers found the glucose gel she had hidden earlier. She squeezed it into Robert's cheek, massaging gently. Swallow, sir, she whispered. Please. His eyelids fluttered. A tiny sound lifted in his throat. A spark. She saw it. She fed him water. Another gel. Bit by bit, color returned to his lips. Stop that, Evelyn hissed, lunging. Sophia stepped between them. If you're sure it's terminal, Sophia said quietly, why fight sugar? Evelyn's mouth twitched. Silent moment. Have you ever watched a mask slide? Michael stormed in. Out, he snapped. Everyone out. To Sophia, you're done here. Pack your bag. Sophia stood her ground. Fire me later, she said. He's stabilizing because of glucose. If he were really dying from cancer, sugar wouldn't do this. Michael's jaw set. This is still my house. Then watch, she said, lifting the meter. A new reading. Not normal, but rising. Low blood sugar. Repeatedly. With no diabetes. Dr. John stepped in, eyes cold. Maid, do you practice medicine now? I practice eyes, she said. And ears. She lifted her phone. The voice notes. The photos of syringes. The invoice. And I record. Michael's gaze flicked to the guards. Take her phone. Touch me and I go live, Sophia said, thumb hovering over a broadcast button. Your koi pond won't save you. Emma slipped in, courageous in her apron. I called an ambulance, she said. From the back line. It's already at the gate. Security blocked the driveway. But sirens thread themselves through money if you call loud enough. Robert coughed. His voice was sand. Michael, he rasped. Why? The room froze. Michael didn't answer. He turned to Dr. John. Fix this. Sophia leaned to Robert. Sir, do you have a doctor you trust? A real one. He blinked, then weakly pointed to a drawer. Inside, a worn card. Dr. Evelyn Shaw. No, we already used Evelyn. Keep consistency. Use Dr. Emma Shaw? We already have Emma as cook. Use Dr. Sophia? That's her. Let's use Dr. Evelyn Shaw. Conflict again. Choose Dr. Eleanor Shaw. Done. A handwritten note on the card. If you ever doubt, call me. Eleanor. With guards at the gate and time slipping, Sophia dialed the number that might save or end everything. Eleanor Shaw, answered a calm voice. Sophia spoke fast, choosing truth over fear. I'm a maid in Mr. Roberts' house. He's crashing with severe hypoglycemia. He's not diabetic. There's insulin here. Security is blocking EMS. Please, help me. A breath. Put me on speaker, Dr. Eleanor said. And get him to fresh air. Sophia opened the balcony doors wide. Salt and wind poured in. Silent moment. Robert inhaled like a man who'd been underwater too long. Dr. Eleanor's voice was steady. Give him quick sugar, then simple carbs if he can swallow. Keep him upright. Do not let them give more sedatives. Evelyn stepped forward. End the call. No, Robert croaked. I want her. Michael's nostrils flared. Dad, you're confused. Am I? Robert asked, eyes clearing by degrees. Or have you become something I don't recognize? Dr. Eleanor continued. I'm 10 minutes away. I'm also calling the police and the medical board. Keep him awake. Emma arrived with warm bread and honey. Together, they helped Robert take tiny bites, sips of sweet tea without the bitterness. The color rose higher. His hands settled. The fog thinned. Have you ever watched a soul fight its way back? Michael paced. You'll regret this, he told Sophia. Girls like you don't win. You get paid. You get quiet. Then why am I shaking? Sophia asked softly. Not from fear. From anger. Dr. John tried a different tactic. Robert, son. I'm not your son, Robert said, voice rough but firm. Silent moment. Footsteps thundered. A uniformed lieutenant stepped through the French doors. We've had multiple calls, she said, eyes sweeping the scene. The four, the syringe, the pale man by the sea. Behind her, Dr. Eleanor strode in with a kit and a glare that had thrown out bigger men. Out, Eleanor told Evelyn and John. If you touch him again without consent, I'll have you cuffed. Michael opened his mouth. Eleanor raised a finger without looking. And you. Stand over there. Speak when spoken to. It was the first time someone had talked to him like that in years. Eleanor examined Robert, asked questions, ordered glucose checks, for fluids, and a full med reconciliation. She sniffed the tea, tipped it into the sink, and ran the water. Bitter, she said. Unlabeled additives? Evelyn's face went blank. The lieutenant turned to Sophia. You said you had evidence. Sophia's hands didn't tremble now. She played the recordings. Michael's words. Dr. John's. The invoice. The gel stash. The insulin syringes. The DNR signed in shaky ink beside, trust transfer, expedite. The room changed temperature. Silent moment. Michael tried to laugh it off. You people don't understand business. Business doesn't inject insulin into a non-diabetic, Eleanor said. That's attempted murder dressed as hospice. The lieutenant's radio crackled. Copy. Bring them in. As the cuffs clicked and the ocean roared, Robert asked for a pen, and named Sophia the witness who would rewrite the end of his story. The study smelled like cedar and sea. Papers lay in neat stacks, as if order could erase what had almost happened. Robert sat up in his robe, a blanket over his knees. His color was better. His eyes were steady. Dr. Eleanor spoke low with the lieutenant. Outside, reporters gathered like gulls. Michael stood by the fireplace, wrists free for the moment but future shrinking by the second. Dr. John stared at the floor. Evelyn hugged herself like she could hide inside her scrubs. Robert pointed to a leather folio. The will, he said. The real one. Sophia brought it. Her fingers brushed the old man's knuckles. He smiled. You saved me, he said. Do you know how rare it is to find someone who chooses right when wrong is easy? She swallowed. I was scared. Courage, he said, isn't the lack of fear. It's the decision you made on that balcony. He opened the folio, revealing crisp pages and a handwritten letter. Before all this, he said, I updated everything. I left the company to a board. Not to a son I had already lost to hunger. He looked at Michael, sorrow outweighing anger. I wanted to save you from this. I failed. Michael's jaw flexed. You don't understand what it took. I understand exactly, Robert said. I built a life so big it let you forget you had one. Eleanor tapped the trust drafts. We'll invalidate these. We'll pursue charges. And we'll get you a proper oncology consult, without poison and profit whispering in the room. Do I still have 3 months? Robert asked, eyes meeting Sophia's. Eleanor softened. You have more time than they told you. Maybe a lot more. You also have a choice about how to use it. Robert looked at Sophia. Stay, he said simply. Not as a maid. As my eyes. My truth checker. Sophia blinked tears she hadn't planned on. I don't belong in rooms like these. You belong where your courage takes you, he said. And in my house, people are not replaceable. Emma burst in, breathless, triumphant. The press is asking for a statement, she said. Do we tell them the maid saved the billionaire? Sophia laughed, shaky and real. No. Tell them the truth saved him. It just borrowed a maid's hands. Robert signed the folio. The pen scratched like a match lighting. He turned to the lieutenant. I don't want vengeance, he said. I want change. He glanced at Sophia. We'll fund clinics that treat the poor with dignity. Scholarships for nurses. Better oversight for private care. Michael swallowed. Dad. Son, Robert said, voice steady. I love you. That's why you will face what you did. The cuffs clicked at last. On the balcony, the wind lifted. The ocean flashed like scales. Sophia stepped into the light. She had come to fold sheets. She had stayed to unfold a lie. Have you ever felt the moment your life shifts under your feet and, somehow, you don't fall? She turned to us, the unseen listeners, the witnesses. If telling the truth meant losing the only job you had, she asked softly, would you still speak? What would you have done in Sophia's place? Protect your job and stay quiet, or risk everything to confront the powerful? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your stories might give someone else the courage they need today.